The complete story of the American Revolution. From Lexington to Yorktown. Join us on Mystic America as we explore the full story of the American Revolution, from the first shots at Lexington and Concord to the decisive surrender at Yorktown. Discover the battles, strategies, and leaders who shaped the birth of the United States, and learn how courage, determination, and international support turned a rebellion into a new nation. Welcome to Mystic America, your home for stories of history, mystery, and the moments that shaped our nation. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss an incredible story. The American Revolution was not just a war between colonies and an empire. It was a clash of ideals, strategy, and determination, fought across forests, rivers, and oceans. From the first sparks in Massachusetts to the decisive victory at Yorktown, this is the story of how 13 colonies reshaped the world. The outbreak of war. In April 1775, the quiet towns of Lexington and Concord were forever changed. British troops, ordered to seize colonial weapons, met determined militiamen ready to defend their homes. The first shots rang out, and what some hoped would be a brief skirmish ignited a full-scale revolution. The news spread quickly. Colonists realized they were not merely defending their property, they were fighting for a future of self-governance. The Continental Congress, meeting in Philadelphia, began coordinating a united resistance, and George Washington, a Virginia planter and experienced soldier, was appointed commander-in-chief of the Continental Army. The siege of Boston and Bunker Hill, rebel militias surrounded Boston, where British forces had taken control. On June 17, 1775, the Battle of Bunker Hill tested both sides. Though the British eventually took the hill, they suffered devastating casualties, over 1,000 men lost, showing that the Americans could stand against the might of the empire. Washington arrived later that summer to assume command. His challenge was immense: transform an untrained militia into an army capable of confronting one of the most powerful militaries in the world. By March 1776, after a daring placement of artillery at Dorchester Heights, Washington forced the British to evacuate Boston, marking a pivotal early victory for the revolutionaries. Early campaigns and challenges. Yet, the road ahead was treacherous. Benedict Arnold led daring attacks on Quebec, demonstrating courage and initiative, while privateers struck at British trade along the coastline, capturing hundreds of enemy vessels. On the western frontier, George Rogers Clark and the Green Mountain Boys secured key forts, protecting settlements and opening new territory for the fledgling nation. The Revolution was not only a military struggle, it was also a test of endurance. Supplies were scarce, winters were harsh, and loyalties were divided. Every victory came at a cost, every defeat a lesson in perseverance. Turning the tide in the North, 1777 became a year of dramatic turns. British General John Burgoyne's ambitious plan to divide the colonies by capturing Albany was slowed by determined American militias, rugged terrain, and clever use of the environment. The decisive victory at the Battle of Saratoga, aided by Benedict Arnold's daring leadership, was a turning point. Saratoga convinced France to openly support the American cause. French ships, soldiers, and resources arrived, transforming a colonial rebellion into an international conflict. With new allies, the Americans could face the British on equal footing, changing the trajectory of the war. Washington strikes back. Winter in 1776 found the Continental Army battered and weary. But George Washington was nothing if not resilient. On Christmas night, he crossed the icy Delaware River with 2,400 troops and launched a surprise attack on the Hessian garrison at Trenton, capturing nearly 1,000 prisoners. Barely escaping a counterattack by Cornwallis, Washington struck again at Princeton. These daring moves revitalized the American cause and demonstrated Washington's ability to inspire his soldiers under the harshest conditions. Valley Forge and Steuben's reforms. The winter of 1777–78 at Valley Forge tested the Army's limits. Food was scarce, clothing inadequate, and disease rampant. Yet, the arrival of Baron von Steuben, a Prussian officer, transformed the Continental Army. He trained soldiers in discipline, effective firearms use, and coordinated maneuvers, forging a force capable of standing against the British in open battle. The fruits of this training were evident at the Battle of Monmouth in June 1778. Despite blistering heat, American forces held their ground, exemplified by the legendary heroism of Molly Pitcher, who took her husband's place at the cannon. This victory symbolized the Army's transformation from a ragtag militia into a disciplined fighting force. Naval actions and global alliances. The war was not only fought on land. At sea, American privateers harassed British trade, while Benedict Arnold's fleet at Lake Champlain delayed British advances in 1776. French naval support, joined later by Spain and the Netherlands, tied down British forces in Europe and disrupted their supply lines. Command of the seas became a decisive factor. The French fleet, led by the Comte de Grasse, would later play a pivotal role in the final campaign, while the British struggled to maintain control of the coastline and protect their troops. Southern campaigns and guerrilla warfare. While the northern theaters stalemated, the British turned south, capturing key cities but encountering fierce resistance from partisan fighters. Francis Marion, Thomas Sumter, and Andrew Pickens waged relentless guerrilla campaigns, slowing British progress. Generals Greene and Morgan led strategic counterattacks, including the decisive Battle of Cowpens. Over time, the Southern theater shifted in favor of the Americans, demonstrating that local knowledge and determination could overcome traditional military power. The Siege of Yorktown. In 1781, all the pieces came together. Washington, Rochambeau, Lafayette, and American forces converged on Cornwallis at Yorktown. The French fleet under de Grasse blocked British reinforcements at sea. On land and water, the Allies tightened their grip. By October 19th, Cornwallis surrendered. The British defeat at Yorktown effectively ended major combat operations in America and signaled that independence was within reach. The Peace of Paris and Independence. After years of struggle, the Treaty of Paris was signed on September 3, 1783. Great Britain recognized the independence of the United States, ceded Florida to Spain, and agreed to fair treatment for Loyalists. American access to trade routes and fisheries was secured, and the Mississippi River became the western boundary of the new nation. The Revolution had succeeded through a combination of strategic leadership, bravery, international support, and the resilience of ordinary Americans who refused to surrender. Why America won. The British never developed a clear, unified strategy. Missed opportunities, poor coordination, and overestimation of Loyalist support created openings for the Americans. Yet, American success was more than British mistakes. Militias fought bravely under capable leaders, the Continental Army grew stronger with each winter, and French aid provided the resources needed to tip the balance. Above all, George Washington's steady leadership provided the foundation for victory, a testament to perseverance, strategy, and the belief in a new nation. From the first shots at Lexington and Concord to the surrender at Yorktown, the American Revolution was a story of courage, strategy, and the unyielding pursuit of freedom. It reshaped the world and gave birth to a nation founded on ideals that continue to inspire. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mystic America. Hit the notification bell to follow along as we uncover more tales of history, mystery, and the moments that defined our country. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.